afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We keep returning to the music of Johannes Brahms as an emotional safe haven. The glow, the richness, the complexity, the sense of rootedness and belonging, and the beauty have made him our cultural security blanket. Seldom do we stop to think that this ripe, embracing universe was not created out of abundance, not out of fulfillment, but out of longing, loneliness, and a sense of loss. One of the myths about the origin of music begins with the god Pan, who is pursuing a nymph, Syrinx. She has other plans, apparently, so she runs away. As he approaches her, as he draws nearer and nearer, she prays for deliverance and is turned into a reed. Pan plucks the reed, turns it into a flute, and plays his heart out. Now let's consider the unthinkable alternative. Pan catches her before her transformation. A moment of bliss and passion occurs. They live happily ever after, and we live in a world with no music forevermore. It is the absence of fulfillment, not gratification, that seems to be the decisive force that sparks creativity and art. The love of Brahms's life did not turn into a reed. Much worse, she was the wife of his friend and patron, Johannes Brahms, Robert Schumann. All his inspiration, all his unfulfilled love, all his longings for domesticity, for intimacy, were all channeled magnificently into his music. In Romanticism, even memories are not of events that took place, but of events that almost happened, that could have happened, that should have happened, but never did. Reality pales next to what can be imagined and created with the compensatory strokes of art. After all, we are in Vienna of Freud, Gustav Klimt, Schnitzler. The air is heavy with repression and sublimation. A huge empire is in a state of disintegration, and the gaze is directed inward. Brahms had a love for old manuscripts, for ruins, for antiquities of all kinds. His sense of being out of sync with his time draws him to old forms. The minuet that you will hear today, the cello sonata, was written while people are already dancing the waltz. It is really a memory of a minuet, shrouded in nostalgia for bygone days and seen as though in a dream. It is followed by a fugue which goes further back and makes reference to the Out of the Fugue by Johann Sebastian Bach. Even when he does write a waltz, which you will hear in the last piece in today's concert, the clarinet trio, it is very far from Johann Strauss's waltzes, whom, by the way, he admired. Everything about a Strauss waltz is real. It is danced with a real-life partner. The chandeliers sparkle, the champagne flows. A Brahms' waltz is Cinderella fantasizing about the ball to which she was not invited. Poignant, tender. A waltz danced in the mind. The advantage of removing the waltz from the dance floor is that it is no longer corporeal. It transmigrates and enters into your soul. Not that you didn't have his friends, his social circles, his favorite beer halls. When in public, he often hid his personal feelings and his vulnerability under a crusty exterior. Leaving a party, he once said, "If there's anybody in the room whose feelings I did not offend tonight, my apologies." Hugo Wolf, the young Hugo Wolf, gave him one of his songs and asked him to mark a cross wherever he thought it was faulty. Brahms returned the manuscript, untouched, saying, "I don't want to make a cemetery of your composition." He had an affinity for the lower end of the vocal and instrumental spectrum. He loved the mezzo, the alto, horn, clarinet, and his first published duo was the E minor cello sonata you will be hearing today. The music that you will be hearing is not the kind of music that is performed. It is shared. A beautiful way to start off season. Enjoy.